Hi everyone, Sumit Chandra this side, and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials.
If you have ever implemented row-level security in Power BI, you have probably come across a common challenge. Imagine you are building a report for a multinational organization. The CEO should be able to see data for all countries. Regional directors should only see the countries in their region. Country managers should only see data for their own country. Now, here is the question. Do you create a separate RLS for every country and every region? Absolutely not. That approach quickly becomes impossible to maintain. In today's video, I will show you how to build an enterprise grade dynamic row level security solution in Power BI using just one dynamic role. We will use a security table that controls access based on the logged in users, and the report will automatically display global, regional, or country level data without creating multiple roles. By the end of this video, you will understand how real organizations implement scalable security in Power BI, and you can use the same approach in your own project. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the data model. Let me go to data model. Our model contains four tables. The first table is the fact sales table, which stores the transactional sales data. The second table is the geography table, which maps every country to its corresponding region. The third table is the product table, which contains product information. Finally, we have the security table. This is the most important table in our solution. Instead of creating multiple roles, we are storing the security information inside this table. Every row represents one user and define what that user is allowed to access. Notice that security table is not related to the fact table. We don't have any relationship, and this is the disconnected table. We will use DAX to dynamically evaluate the logged in user and filter the geography table, because geography filters the fact table through the relationship, and the security automatically flows to every visual in the report. Let's see the security table in details. Let me go to table view, and we are in the security table. The email column stores the user's login. The access label column tells us whether the user has global, regional, or country level access. If the user has global access, the region and country columns remain blank. If the user has regional access, we populate the regional column, and if the user has country access, we populate the country column. The beauty of this approach is that adding a new employee doesn't require any changes to the Power BI semantic model. You simply add a new row to the security table, refresh the dataset, and the user automatically receives the correct access. That's why this approach scales so well in enterprise environments. Now let's create a dynamic role. Let me go to the report view. From here, we will come to modeling, and I will go to manage roles and create a new role. Let me rename it as dynamic RLS. Instead of applying the filter on the fact table, I am applying it to the geography table. This is considered a best practice because filtering the dimension table allows the security to propagate naturally through the model. So here let me click on switch DAX view, and here I will paste the DAX expression. Let me explain it. The first step is to identify the currently logged in users using user principal name. Next, we retrieve the user access label from the security table. We also retrieve the user's assigned region and country by using lookup value. Finally, we use a switch statement. If the user has global access, we return true, which means no filtering is applied. If the user has region access, we filter geography table using the assigned region. If the user has country access, we filter using the assigned country. Otherwise, the expression returns false, preventing access to any data. And that's it. One single role now controls access for every users in the organization. Let me save it and close. Now let me publish the report. I hit on publish. Let me select the workspace as sales analytics, and let's select, so the report will publish now in the sales analytics workspace. Got it. Now let's test the solution. Let me go to the workspace and refresh this tab. So here you can see we have this report here. Now I will test the scenario one by one. So I'm selecting the semantic model. Let me click on more options from these triple dots and come to security. Here we'll get that role that we have created, Dynamic RLS. Now we need to add the email IDs. Before testing it, let me show you the security table, and here you can see this email ID admin@872csr.onmicrosoft.com has global access. Let me copy this. Let me come to the dynamic roles and here paste the ID. Let me click on add and click on save. Now to check the access, we have to click here more options in the roles and then test as role. Here in dynamic RLS, we come here and in select person, we have to put the ID again. Let me hit on apply. So here you can see the users can able to see all the regions and all the countries as the users has global access. Now let us test another scenario. Again I come to the security table and let me copy this ID, and you can see this user has the access of APAC region only. Let me go to service and hit on back button. Here we'll put the ID of that users who had access of APAC region only. Let me click on save. Now we have two users and let's test this role. Now in dynamic RLS, let me select person, and here we have to put the ID of that particular person, and here see the user has access of APAC region only. So this user has access of APAC region only. Now let me go to the security table again, and from here I'll copy this ID, and this user has access of India data only, country specific access. Let me come to the workspace, hit on back, again paste the ID here, and let me add this user, as well. Save. Now lastly, Again, we have to come here. Let me click on triple dot, test role in Dynamic RLS. Let's select this person, select the user, apply, and here you can see the users can able to see the data of India only. That's the power of Dynamic RLS. Before we finish, I would like to share a few best practices. Always store security information in a dedicated security table rather than hard coding values inside DAX. Keep your security model data driven so that administrator can manage user access without modifying the report. Whenever possible, apply RLS to dimension tables instead of fact tables. Avoid creating separate roles for every country or region. One dynamic role is easier to maintain and much more scalable. If your organization uses Microsoft Entra ID groups, you can extend this approach even further by managing access through group membership instead of individual users. We have a separate video where we demonstrated this. If you are interested, you can watch it from here. The best practices make your Power BI solution easier to maintain and ready for enterprise deployment. That brings us to the end of today's video. We learned how to implement dynamic row level security using a single role that supports global, regional, and country level access. This is the same design pattern used in many enterprise Power BI implementation because it's flexible, scalable, and easy to maintain. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so that you don't miss future Power Platform tutorials.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button and press the bell icon for the new video alerts.